Okay. That's the end. The Eternal Cylinder conquered. Okay. Not not the end I was thinking would occur. I would have to admit it was a very strange ending. But I guess overall it's a very strange game. I didn't write down my thoughts for this game. Well, truthfully, I just didn't have enough time. But I've been thinking about it, just in case that this game would give me enough time to jot them down. I think my overall thoughts is I think the game is okay. I guess I had an idea of what this game would be, and this game did not meet that idea. And I think the current implementation doesn't.
And so the Trebhum, who were not the strongest nor the fastest, and who did not have sharp teeth, escaped the Eternal Cylinder. They did not become one, but stubbornly stayed many. And they learned to be loyal not only to their own kind, but to others. Their great victory over the inevitable was the victory of generations, of the elders and the Trawala and my own people, whose name I cannot remember. But even as what is left of me fades away, and though one day the cylinder may resume its destruction, I know that I was part of this family, if only for a little while, and that gives me hope.
Okay, so I think the game was okay, not because it didn't meet the idea that I had thought the game would go, I guess, in the direction of, but in that the direction that the game went in just wasn't very interesting to me. It felt very linear, and it felt like it added these cool like evolution mechanics of, changing into different forms, but it didn't leverage those to do anything cool with them. There were a couple of puzzles, but I felt like this could have been a puzzle exploration game where you're trying to find the correct evolution to solve the puzzle before you. Or it could have been like a survival game as a whole, where maybe the cylinder is constantly moving and, it changes up its speed every now and then, but you're kind of at a race against time to find the right evolutions so that you can do other things and move on and create things, build things, make life easier. And I just don't feel like this game did anything in that regard. The vast majority of the time for me, it felt like I would reach an area and there would largely be nothing to do in that area. I could, move on to explore it a little bit. I can find food. I can find water resources. I can generally find a mutation or two here or there. But there was ultimately just not anything to do in those areas. Sometimes there were caves, but the caves didn't really offer additional things to do. Occasionally there were pyramids that were, I would say, puzzle-centric, but I don't think that those pyramids were kind of few and far between. They were mostly for getting the map revealed, which was a very valuable thing. But the puzzles in there were also like fairly simplistic. I only got stuck on one puzzle, in fact, and that was the one where I just needed to backtrack a little bit and find the footprints with the eyes. So like overall, all of the puzzles were definitely very simple, which, you know, is fine, but I just wish that there was more leverage there. Like, for example, one of the last puzzles we did, where we get to take control of the eyes of the statues, I thought that one was probably the best puzzle in the game, because you needed to utilize a lot of different things, even if it was only one mutation. You needed to use the eyes to see what you need to do, and then you need to use the water to knock down the thing. Then you need to go turn the dials to make it so it matches what you saw with the eyes. And like I thought that was very a very well executed puzzle. But you know, maybe they didn't want to make this a puzzle game. So like that I totally understand. You know, if you don't really want to make the puzzle game, you want to make the survival thing. But if it did want to be a survival game, I feel like I would have had more fun if there were more things to do in every section. It mostly just felt like whenever I got to a new section, most of the time I could just say, okay, I want to move on to the next section now. There were some sections where there was just nothing to do. And, you know, I was just like, well, what was the purpose of this one? We could have put things here. We could have put more story, more encounters, or, you know, scripted stuff, side content. I don't know. I think that's mostly the crux of my like the things that didn't really cause enjoyment for me. I do like the variety of mutations, and I do like how you can get mutations. Some of them are very risky to go after, and some of them are very easy to get. I like how I want to describe it in a certain way, but I guess I'll just say I like how each mutation is kind of presented. Some of them are like body parts of monsters, and some of them are, you know, like stuffs. I'm gonna hit continue, I guess. We'll just go onto this loading screen because the music on the title screen is very loud. But yeah, I basically like the majority of the aspects about the mutations. I do wish that the mutations were you were able to make them permanent a little bit sooner. Maybe that was the case and I just missed out on all of those. I'm not 100% sure. But I think if I were to say as a whole, I wish there was more game to the game. I wish there were more activities to do in the game. The rush of trying to outpace the cylinder as you're making your way to the next tower, I think that's one of the most exciting things in this game. And it doesn't necessarily leverage that as well as I would have liked. That in of itself could have been a really nice puzzle to solve of what mutations or what combination of factors do I need to account for to make it to the next tower? And if I fail, okay, what do I need to change up? I think there were The vast majority of the scenarios, the cylinder wasn't really a factor. And there were some scenarios where, that cylinder was right on my booty, and it was crazy. It was exciting, and got the sweat coming off your brow trying to outpace that thing. So I personally would have liked to see just more things to do in the game. It for me it felt empty. Um, in the sense of there just wasn't a lot of things to engage in. Um, I did like the desert area. I felt that area was very dangerous to be in, and I think that was one of the better transitions that were made in the game because the enemies prior to that were fairly tame. I can navigate around them, but figuring out what the monsters do in the desert area for the first time was scary, especially that plant that tries to grab you and the sandworm. Those ones were terrifying. But yeah, I guess just to reiterate my overall thoughts, I think the game is okay. It's not too exciting for me to. It wasn't very exciting for me to go through as a whole, just because I felt like it could have added more things to do, but it was it was satisfactory, I guess. Like I don't regret playing it, and so I think that's where I can go with that. But that's gonna wrap it up for me for today. It is 12:08, and I need to go get some food. So thanks for watching, appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific, to play something. Who knows what that's gonna be? But thanks for watching, appreciate it. See ya the next time I see ya. Peace.